Boxwood Brass is a harmony ensemble, which is an ensemble of oboes, clarinets, horns and bassoons, and we have a double bass as well for this concert. We play on historical instruments, so we're playing music from the late 18th and early 19th century, and we're using instruments that are copies of the kind that would have been used at the time. In February, we're playing a version of Beethoven's Seventh Symphony that was published by his own publisher, so he probably knew about it, and it was arranged for our lineup of instruments, because it was an incredibly popular combination at the time. For this Sound Vision Place event, we're bringing the work of the Huddersfield Centre for Performance Research to the public. HUCPA, the Huddersfield Centre for Performance Research, works on various aspects of music performance at different times in history. And my work is a lot around the 18th and 19th century. So for a Sound Vision Place event, we're looking at wind music in Vienna just around the end of the Napoleonic Wars. And we've chosen two pieces to perform during the day, which are really strongly linked to the Napoleonic campaigns. So at lunchtime, Boxwood Brass are performing Beethoven's Seventh Symphony, which, although it wasn't conceived as a battle-related piece, was first performed at a concert in aid of the survivors of the Battle of Hanau, which was a major battle in the Napoleonic Wars in 1813. And then later in the day, the University of Huddersfield Symphonic Wind Orchestra are going to perform what's often called Beethoven's Battle Symphony. It's actually called Wellington's Victory, and it celebrates the Battle of Vittoria, which was also in 1813. One of the themes of the day is to look at the relationship between music as popular and as art music during the early 19th century. These days we think of pop music and classical music as being very separate things for separate audiences, but at that time there was much less of a line between them, and a composer like Beethoven, who we now think of as being very rarefied, actually wrote music that was really popular for the masses. The Battle Symphony, Wellington's Victory, is a really good example of that. It was actually the most performed one of his symphonies in London in the early 19th century, even though we don't play it very much now. One of the ways that his music was further popularised was by performance in different ensembles. So when the Seventh Symphony was published, it was published not only for full orchestra, but also in versions for pianos and string instruments that you could play at home, and also in the version for wind instruments that we're playing, which would have been taken into smaller situations out into the courts around Germany where they didn't have a full orchestra but did have a harmony or a wind ensemble. And in this way, his music really got out to a very, very wide public. The reason that people should come to Boxwood Brass and Battles Day is to hear some amazing music, to time travel, and to hear the stories that went behind it.